All right, I'm here with the lovely Miss Mandy. Say hi.
Hi, everyone.
Miss Mandy is at work, so she said she's not busy at all. I have plenty of time for me. So I appreciate you being here. So Miss Mandy, tell me a little bit about like your background and like why you decided originally to start training in martial arts and karate.
Okay, well, I'm a mom for a while now, and professional, been in the same career, at least at the same vet hospital for a long time. And my daughter enrolled, and I kind of felt like I needed a little bit more. Like I felt like the days were kind of becoming the same every day, and I feel like I wasn't being challenged as much. I was kind of steady at my home, I was steady at work, and I needed a little bit of a challenge. So I kind of thought from the beginning when my daughter Juliana started that it might be something I would want to try.
Okay.
So I didn't have the courage to just jump on the mat on my own. It took a bit of coercing from the head instructors, you being one of them, of course. And I was reserved at first just from being at the school and understanding the vibe there and what action karate was all about, that I felt like if I stepped on the mat, it was going to be a commitment that I wanted to keep and to do. And I was really afraid to make that kind of commitment because I didn't want to let anyone else down. And I think deep down, I didn't want to let myself down. So I just kind of shied away from it and didn't take that step um, until I finally did one day. So
So
how I got onto the mat.
hmm, okay, cool. So what made you decide that you were nervous about commitment, right? There's so many other things you've committed to in your life, right? And whether it's committed to your new job or have, a daughter and all the other things you commit to. So what about karate or martial arts training had you like hesitant to take that step?
Um, Actually, that realization came way after the fact. I didn't know that at the time. At the time, it was I'm busy at work, or I don't have the money, or Juliana comes first. At the time, it was more about excuses. Um, it was afterwards, after I was training for a while, that I realized what my hesitation was. I think because I started to see it on other people too, because once I was training and enjoying it and loving it, I just felt like shaking some people and saying, "Don't be afraid, just try it." So actually, it was like a free event. I think it was free January for parents. And I'm like, oh,
Hmm.
I'll just go have fun for a couple of classes. I kind of thought of it like a kickboxing class that I had done before. Or I'll just go sweat and work out because I'm athletic. I like those things. And so it really was just, oh, I'll just try it a couple of times because there's no real commitment this month.
Hmm. So how do you know how many years ago that was when you first started?
Uh,
What year that was?
it was 6 years ago.
6 years ago. Okay.
Yeah,
So 2015, January 2015 is when you first started.
I believe so. Hmm.
Okay, cool. So that's when, just like we have now, we had parents free in January. And after I bugged you a lot and a bunch of the instructors bugged you, like, hey, you should try class, you should try class. Eventually you're like, oh, fine. And then you finally gave in. So what was it like getting over that like initial hump of like, okay, I'm thinking about it, but I'm not going to make that commitment, but now they're bothering me so much. Okay, now, you know what, I'll just try it. Like, so what was it like getting over that initial?
Um, I guess I didn't think too much of it at the time. And I was hooked immediately. One class, and I knew I was in it. It just, my first class was amazing. There weren't that many people in the class. It was a smaller class, which was probably better. Um, and for me, I don't know. I just went one night. I'm like, okay, I'll just go. Probably because you kept bugging me so much, honestly. And my little daughter's looking up at me like, "Try it, mommy." So of course, yeah. But after that one class, I mean, I went out to my car, and that's when I wrote my black belt letter to you and Mr. McQuaid that night in my car right after class.
Oh,
It's like I felt all this stuff, and I had to just write it down because I knew at that point that I needed to do this for myself.
okay. Really cool. So obviously, a lot of people like to get their kids signed up for karate, right? As an adult, it's a lot scarier of a step, right? It's easy to be like, Okay, yeah, kid, I'm setting up for karate. You having fun? Okay, awesome. Like, go do it, right? So obviously, as an adult, it's a lot scarier. People are scared of getting hurt. They're scared of being embarrassed. Those are the two biggest fears they get, right? And the reality is that it's super, super rare if someone gets hurt. Like, you're probably more likely getting hurt, like getting out of your car, right, when it's snowing. And B, the second thing is that everyone's too focused on what they're doing for themselves, and no one is focusing on what you're doing, and no one cares what you're doing, right? So the embarrassment factor is not really, it's not there. But so as you decided to get over that hump and start training, how did that impact your relationship with your daughter that was also training at the same time?
It was wonderful. We were practicing together. I started helping in some of her classes, holding targets, and at home we could do it together. I understood a little bit more why it was hard for her to do 7 push-ups, because in the beginning I could only do 3 push-ups, so I had a better understanding of what it actually meant and what she was putting into it. And as we went through, it wasn't just about the physical training, it was about the building other things, the self-discipline of getting to class and practicing katas and making time for that. And of course, the confidence factor for me. I used to be very shy, not one to be the first to raise my hand for things. And my training and watching her both, I think, just raised that to another level.
So how did raising your confidence impact you outside karate school and other settings?
Oh my gosh, it has impacted every part of my life. I used to be scared to my core to stand up and lead a drill, or even to just show something before I was in leadership and instructing. Now I don't think twice about it. It just is a comfort level, and that's transpired over to talking in front of groups. I mean, public speaking, we all know that's one of all of our biggest fears. And I still get the butterflies, and I still need to be prepared to feel comfortable, but I'm not afraid to do that anymore. I'm not afraid to think on my feet and have confidence in what my natural reactions will be.
Okay, that's great. So it wasn't like you just learned some cool karate moves, but you got all these other benefits. The most important being confidence is able to help you at work, teaching in front or talking in front of other people. And so now, do you feel like it's just part of your identity and kind of like who you are?
Yes, 100%. I feel.
Okay.
I mean, we always said, at the black belt ceremony, we talk about your journey starts now. Like, you think of it as the goal when you start training to get the black belt. But after that, it becomes a lifestyle and it becomes part of you, and through the initial training as well. So I feel like it's part of my identity. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of what I've accomplished. And I'm proud of the people around me. The martial arts community feel like the people I want to surround myself with.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I really appreciate you being so honest and open and genuine. So what would you say to someone who, it's January right now as we're filming this, right? So tell me, what would you say to someone who is on the fence? They're like, oh, karate is a kid thing, or, oh, I'm scared about getting hurt, or scared about being embarrassed, or making a commitment, like you said earlier. What would you say to someone like that?
I would probably ask them if there's any part of their life they would like to improve. And whatever they said, trying karate or doing it would be a reason to help improve. I can't imagine anything in the outside life that you would want to improve, whether it's your job, your social connections, parenting, friendships. There's nothing that you won't gain improvement on by doing karate. I firmly believe that. I learned that from you. I learned that from Mr. McQuaid. So, and if they didn't have anything to improve on, I'd probably just say, well, don't you want to just have some fun? So try it for that. So.
Yeah. Cool. That was a really good answer. Better than I could have ever asked for. So thank you so much. That was amazing. And I'm looking forward to, A, your continued growth as a person, but B, always hearing good feedback from our students as you're an instructor now as part of the team, right? I've been doing that for a while, but Now you get to teach students from around the country, which is super cool, and hopefully inspire some other parents who might be in a similar situation to what you were in back in 2015. So now 6 years from now, they'll be like, oh yeah, I saw that video from Miss Mandi and it inspired me, and you can kind of pass that along. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you doing this. And Miss Mandi, you're awesome as always. So
Thank you. Awesome.